From massive swarms of locusts to huge landslides that made towns disappear, 2025 has already presided over some truly incredible natural disasters. So sit back and relax as we go over 10 of the worst from this year, all caught on film.
Alpha team, this is Echo team. Bravo 1 is clear. Copy that, Echo. Hey, engine 314, down 314, go ahead and pop up here a little bit. I've got Orange County right. Orange 100, 1401.
The Pacific Palisades were a large neighborhood in western Los Angeles, overlooking the beautiful Pacific Ocean. On January 25, 2025, flames were seen in the vicinity of a popular hiking trail near Skull Rock on Temescal Ridge. Within minutes, high winds quickly spread the fire to engulf several acres of trees and pushed it into the densely populated neighborhood nearby. Fueled by drought conditions and high wind, the fire ripped through hillside communities. Thousands fled as flames leapt from canyon to ridge. The fire burned for 9 days, costing the lives of 17 people and destroying more than 9,000 homes throughout the Pacific Palisades area. So many homes were destroyed during the disaster that it threatened to exhaust California's entire $21 billion wildfire insurance fund. High above the village of Blatten in the Swiss Alps, a massive glacier holding back millions of tons of rock and debris collapsed from thawing on the morning of May 28, 2025. The collapse sent 9 to 10 million tons of rock and ice hurtling down the mountain and straight into the village. While timely warnings from local authorities allowed all but one of the village residents to escape, the massive landslide annihilated more than 130 buildings, leveling 90% of the village and displacing all 300 of its residents. Cameras captured entire homes vanishing, and later drone footage showed what were once streets transformed into piles of rubble. Tampa saw an incredible example of nature's power as water met wind in one of nature's most hypnotic displays. In June of this year, 2 simultaneous waterspouts formed off Tampa Bay, spinning clockwise side by side in complete mirrored symmetry. The twin spouts formed as warm Gulf air collided with thunderstorm outflows, creating twin vortexes that snaked their way down to the water. Fortunately, both spouts remained out to sea, and despite flipping several small boats and drenching some fishermen, no major damage or deaths occurred. In July of 2025, the Ruidoso River area of south-central New Mexico experienced heavy flooding. Massive thunderstorms upstream dropped inches of rain and burn scars from the South Fork fire of 2024. The destruction of all plant matter within the burn scars meant that the area became non-absorbent, causing all of the precipitation to run off the hills and into the Rio Ruidoso. The river rose more than 20 feet in under an hour, working its way into nearby neighborhoods where it destroyed at least 50 homes. Floodwaters were so violent that they even swept entire houses downstream. A father and his 2 young daughters fell victim to the floods, with at least 85 others requiring rescue after water inundated their homes. This is a great example of just how fast and dangerous flash floods can be.
Oh my gosh, y'all look.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
St. Louis, Missouri falls within a section of the United States commonly known as Tornado Alley, which is home to between 600 and 900 tornadoes per year. Residents were getting ready to wrap up their work week on Friday, May 16th, when a massive EF3 tornado set down directly in the city, with wind speeds reaching up to 152 miles per hour. The huge tornado stretched to nearly a mile wide and remained on the ground for more than 26 minutes, during which it wreaked havoc for at least 23 miles. It damaged more than 5,000 buildings and caused damage to thousands of vehicles within its path. In the end, the tornado took the lives of 4 people and injured an additional 38 before finally sputtering out and disappearing outside of town. It was part of a much larger system that killed at least 28 people. Central Texas experienced a natural phenomena in early July, as stalled storms dumped an astounding 20 inches of rain on the hill country between July 4th and July 6th. This massive influx of rain caused the Guadalupe River to surge 20 to 26 feet, inundating homes, roads, and campgrounds. As river levels rose, dozens of children and camp counselors were caught unaware at Camp Mystic, a local youth camp in the area. Sadly, 27 of the young campers found themselves unable to escape and were swept away by the floods. In total, the flooding cost the lives of 135 people, with 10 still reported missing nearly a month later. Damage estimates are still ongoing, but the cost is expected to be in the hundreds of millions. Located in southern Indonesia, Luatobi Laki-Laki volcano is one of a twin set of volcanic peaks, located in close proximity on the island. The pair have been highly active in recent years as they vent volcanic material onto the ever-growing island. At around 4:03 p.m. on July 7th, the quiet slopes of Mount Luatobi roared to life. Initially, the eruption was marked by a few small pyroclastic flows and belching smoke emanating from the mountain, but this small eruption quickly compounded into the largest volcanic eruption that we have seen so far in 2025. The resulting ash cloud billowed more than 18 kilometers or 11 miles into the sky. Villages within a 7-kilometer radius were coated in ash as massive pyroclastic flows raced more than 5 kilometers down the volcano's flanks. The largest volcanic eruption in more than a decade in Indonesia, it grounded flights and drastically changed the topography of the region. Fortunately, however, unlike many of the other disasters on this list, Luatobi's eruption was predicted early, and as a result, 0 lives were lost and minimal property was damaged during the volcano's eruption. The American Midwest is home to some of the world's most violent thunderstorms, which often generate high winds, tornadoes, and yes, absolutely massive hail. In West Texas, on the afternoon of May 28th, hail didn't just fall, it thundered down like meteorites. High wind and baseball-sized hail struck homes, windshields, and anyone unlucky enough to be out in the deluge. Witnesses measured stones over 5.4 inches across, larger than DVDs, leaving roofs perforated, vehicles shattered, and skies in a blur of ice. No fatalities were confirmed, but the Midwest ice missiles caused millions in property damage and emergency declarations followed. Not all disasters roar down from the sky. Some buzz through it. In mid-2025, Queensland was invaded, not by armies, but by insects. A swarm of tens of millions of locusts carpeted roads, properties, and fields in a multi-mile-long portion of central and western Queensland. Farms were devastated, and the swarm actually darkened communities in the northeastern Australian state. The buzz was deafening. Leaves vanished. Crops turned papery. For many farmers, it was the final blow in a brutal year. This was one of Australia's largest swarms in decades, with even NASA confirming mass movement. The Ring of Fire is a massive, horseshoe-shaped zone surrounding the Pacific Ocean, where tectonic plates collide, slide, or subduct. It is responsible for 75% of the world's active volcanoes and 90% of the world's earthquakes. At 12:50 p.m. on March 28, 2025, the ground beneath Myanmar began to shake. The quake featured a rare supershear rupture, moving at speeds of up to 5 to 6 kilometers a second, faster than typical shear waves. It propagated roughly 480 kilometers along the fault, far longer than most strike-slip events. Remarkably, this CCTV camera, 124 kilometers from the epicenter, captured the fault slip in real time. A magnitude 7.7 to 7.9 quake resulted just 10 kilometers below the surface, near Mandalay, Myanmar's second largest city. The quake damaged and destroyed buildings across the city, spreading to neighboring regions and also affecting Thailand, Vietnam, China, and India. In Bangkok, the quake caused a high-rise under construction to collapse, killing 92 workers. In total, the quake led to the deaths of between 3,600 and 5,500 people, and destroyed more than 10,000 buildings with many more sustaining damage. The estimated cost to repair damage caused by the quake was a staggering $11 billion.